Beloved, March 17, 2018, in dreams, I saw how a line of people were on their way through a valley. This beautiful valley had many flowers and very lush trees. They walked, they were very pleasantly in this place. And I saw that they had little concern. Then my companion told me, their only concern is to be on account with the Lamb. I heard them sing, and at that moment I recognized their song. The song they were singing was, "To Zion we walked, our glorious mansion." At that moment, this marching company stopped, because when they crossed the valley and began to climb the mountain, they reached the top of it, and there was no further road. Then I looked around, and many fell on their knees, crying out to God to be allowed to continue on the path. Then suddenly, a light from the sky, a light that was not common, because that light not only illuminated, but was beautiful, and in turn was a path that connected the end of that mountain with the heaven. You could see a structure at the end of it, a structure that there are no human materials here on earth to say is of this or that material, but it was a large, enormous, beautiful structure of majestic splendor. So I saw that the first in line, who had dropped to the ground on its knees, got up and began to walk down the path of light and sang even with more fervor. Then the second, who was also on his knees, got up, but this was afraid to take his feet off the ground, because he felt that he was standing on solid and putting them on the path of crystalline light, since it was not solid ground, and began to cry for not having the courage to do so. The third also saw him get up from his knees. I saw him look, and I heard him say, "This looks very difficult." Then he began the backward path, but his feet wobbled, and although he was, according to him, on safe ground, he fell to the ground. The fourth got up and said, "This looks easy." And he began to walk the path. His feet also began to wobble. This looked down and also fell to a cliff that was in this place. I saw how the first walker encouraged the fifth, that person who was also on his knees, who got up, that it was his turn. And this answered, Look where you are going. And you have not arrived yet. It is not worth starting and risk my life. No, I won't do it," said this fifth person. Then I saw him walk in the opposite direction until I couldn't see him anymore. I lost sight of him. Then I saw the first one continue to encourage others, and I saw how many began the path encouraging each other. Suddenly I heard a voice that crossed the heavens that said, "Do not look down, but ahead and up. Follow the light and have faith, and you will surely arrive." Then I saw how this who walked the path that was not easy, humanly speaking, I saw how each one of them embarked on the path with more courage. They were not allowed to carry anything except themselves, so any bundle or package that they had before starting this path, they had to leave it behind and move forward only by faith. But I also saw how many resisted this, and some, venturing not to leave their packages, they advanced along this path of light, and they just put one foot on the path of light. It did not support them, and they fell into the abyss. So while I contemplated this whole scene of those walkers and said path of light, struggling to reach one another, who out of fear or lack of faith or caressed belongings fell from the road, the scene changed. So I was taken to the top of a mountain, and my companion told me, "Observe, Then I looked carefully and saw that we were standing in a circle of mountains. That is, there were peaks of many mountains that formed a circle. And we were standing in one of them, in the middle of that circle of high and steep mountains. There was a large funnel with a gigantic mouth. It was something very large. A very wide mouth had that funnel. But at the end, it was extremely narrow. Then my companion said to me, "Did you see the path of light and the different participants and their different situations?" And I answered, "Yes." Then he said to me, "Observe this and understand." So I started looking and saw many people on the mountain peaks. And the order was to jump into the funnel by faith. Then I saw how some jumped without thinking, others hesitated, and others, the greater in number, they refused. Those who jumped screamed, went screaming as they went in the air. But when they came out through the narrow part of the funnel, they came out unharmed. They were happy, and a bright light shone on their faces, and they ran to the cities. So I asked, "Why do they run to the cities?" Then my companion answered me that their character had already been transformed and that they had received the latter rain. So this excited me. And he kept saying, "Because they let go of everything to follow the orders of the Lamb, and now they are stars that shine in the Lord and for the Lord in this world of supreme darkness, and they will draw others into the fold of the Lord." At that moment, beloved, there I woke up. I woke up with the total conviction that if we do not rest, pause our chores, if we do not put aside everything that hinders us to get right with God, and that He transforms us by His grace alone, we will not be able to obtain victory, nor will we be able to help others so that in Christ Jesus they can also reach it. God grant that each of us understand and can do God's will for our lives. May the Lord bless you.